This family's daughter is dying, and then her nanny makes a decision that'll make tears stream down your cheek. Anyone who's been a babysitter or worked as a nanny knows the great responsibility that rests on your shoulders. Most babysitters take the job seriously, but some go above and beyond what any parent could ask for. 22-year-old Kirsten Miles had only looked after George and Farrah Roscoe's 3 children for a few weeks, but when one of the kids' lives was on the line, Kirsten made a life-changing decision. It was a decision that will leave the Roscoes eternally grateful. Kirsten Miles is a 22-year-old student from New Jersey who needed a job to support her studies. She contacted the Roscoe family through a friend and immediately started working for them. In no time, Kirsten formed a strong bond with the couple's 3 kids, and especially their youngest daughter, Talia. But it soon turned out that the 9-month-old girl had a rare, life-threatening liver disease. When doctors announced that Talia needed a new liver, Kirsten didn't hesitate for a second to offer her part of hers. George and Farrah Roscoe weren't sure about the idea at first. They explained to Kirsten how big of a deal it was. Donating part of your liver isn't like donating blood. It involves invasive surgery, and there are certain risks involved. But Kirsten stood by her decision and applied to be Talia's donor. And when she got her test results back, Kirsten proved to be a perfect match. George and Farrah Roscoe were obviously extremely grateful to Kirsten for her selfless decision, but they made sure they didn't push Kirsten to make a decision she might regret later. Kirsten had no regrets, and on January 11, 2017, she and Talia went to the hospital for the 14-hour surgery. First, the doctors gave Kirsten anesthesia and removed part of her liver, and then they immediately performed a transplant on little Talia. Thank goodness the transplant was successful. Kirsten stayed at the hospital for 5 days, and Talia stayed for 9. Thankfully, both Kirsten and Talia quickly recovered, and today Talia is a new toddler. Hardly anyone can believe that she recently had a liver transplant. Now she's like any other little girl. She runs around, plays, and eats like never before. Kirsten, of course, deserves a hug and a thank you for her amazing gesture. Talk about a heart of gold. In a world where humanity sometimes seems cold and selfish, people like Kirsten really give us hope and inspiration. She could have just kept living her life focusing on herself, but instead, she chose to go through a long process that exposed hers to risk. Also, a little girl would have the chance to live. If Kirsten isn't a superhero, then we don't know who is. Make sure you share this story if you also want to spread a little light and hope today.